Hey, you look different. Did you get a haircut?
Hey, what's up my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Transform a Dream Wave upgrade kit for Power of the Primes Volcanicus. So here we are, and there it is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So right up front here, we just have some little schematic images of what is in the kit. Transform Dreamwave, TCW06, up top here. We got the sword on the bottom, we got the sword on the side, we got more weapons and swords and stuff on the other side, things and stuff and things. And on the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shot and warning! Please don't eat anything in this box, that could be very bad for you, and that's basically it for the packaging. Then moving right along, here we have our Dinobots. Now, I said that I wasn't going to buy any upgrades for Volcanicus, I don't know. I didn't know if it was worth, putting any more money into, honestly, and, I just said, yeah, I'm probably not going to do any upgrade kits, but then I saw a review for this particular set, and I was like, wow, that looks really good. So, I caved, and I bought this, and I know somebody's going to ask, and no, I'm not buying the Perfect Effect kit. This is the kit I bought. This is the only kit I'm going to buy. I'm done. This one looked the best to me, so this is the one I'm going with, and the only one I'm going to buy. So now let's talk about everything that is included with this kit, and you get a lot of stuff with this kit, so we're going to run through it all. Right here, this is the first piece, and this is actually made up of 3 pieces. This is the chest piece, this is the back piece right here that tabs onto it. We'll show how all this works as we continue on. This is the new crotch piece, you can see done with some nice gold paint and some silver in there. Looks quite nice. And again, we'll go into how all this works in a bit. You do also get a pair of new hands, which again look really cool. Nice and spiky and gold-like. Nice detail there. So you get hands. You also get the new feet, which are also done in that black and gold, with some nice molded detail. Underneath we have some weaponry. And again, we'll get into how all this works in a bit, just running through everything that comes in the box. You get this right here, which will actually bulk out the thighs in combine mode, which is nice. Again, done in that gold there. You get some gunmetal gray in there as well. So you get that piece. You also get this piece, which is going to be his new butt plate. That's his new butt. That's his new butt. He even gets a butt upgrade. Hey, why not? Dare I say, why not? You get these pieces right here, which are going to be filler pieces for the combine mode shoulders. You can see they have little guns molded in that are painted as well. So you get 2 of these. And you get weapons for your Dinobots. So for the 3 Dinobots that did not come with swords, you do get swords for them. So you got Grimlock's sword right here, done in black, with the nice red blade. You get a sword here for Sludge, which again, nicely done in that black and red. And all of these swords have pegs on the one side, so you can store them if you wish. And you also get a sword for Slag. Again, nicely done with that red paint there. You also get Swoop's missile launchers here. They're just done in black. So you get Swoop's weapons. You also get not 1, but 2 of Grimlock's double-barreled blasters. Again, just done in black. You also get 2 of these guns, and these guns are for Snarl. Again, done in black, but nicely detailed. And you also get alternate versions of the swords with the blades not painted, just done completely in black. So, hey, you got options there, and as always, options are good. So, hey, you got that. And you also get 2 versions of the big sword here for combine mode. You can see the blade is done in a nice metallic orange. So you get this version of the sword, and you also get an all-black version of the sword as well. So again, you got the option there. So now let's show off what you can do with this stuff for these guys in Dino mode. So of course we can give Swoop his missile launchers, and they just tab into these slots right here on the wings. They are a bit snug. They don't hold on super securely, but they hold on well enough. Like, they're not going to fall off, but they definitely could feel like they feel like they could definitely hold on a bit better. But it requires quite a bit of force to just get them in there. You can see, and they kind of want to push themselves out. So they're a little annoying. Just a little annoying to kind of get them tabbed in. Let me try this side. I think one side goes into a specific wing better than the other. No, okay. Well, you know what? You know what, Swoop? I don't like you. I don't like you. Come on. There we go. Yay! So there we have Swoop with his missile launchers on his wings. So now he looks all proper-like. Now, Snarl here, according to the instructions, he gets these bits right here, and they just peg into the Dino mode hips. So that's his armament right there. Not much to it, but hey, something to do if you want to do it. Now, as far as Grimlock goes, he gets all of this, and what you do here is you take his two guns, and they will just plug in right here, right into these ports, one on either side. Easy peasy, and these two tabs are going to tab into these slots right here in the combined mode crotch plate. So you want to kind of straighten out his tail and lean him forward a bit, and that just tabs in like so and sits on his back, and now he has a big ol' backpack of murder. So there you go. So that's how you arm Grimlock up. Now, Sludge is supposed to get the combined mode hands as weapons, and these do transform. What you do here is you just split the hand down the middle like so, flip this handle down, you take the thumb, and you just swing it to the back, and then just bend the claw down. And these pieces are on a double hinge. You just take them and swing them back, and you basically got some finger guns. Pew pew. And that's basically what's going on there. Now, Sludge is supposed to get these, and they're supposed to plug into these ports right here, but they don't fit. Like, the post is just a little too big to plug into those ports, and they're a little too big to plug into the ports in the Dino hips as well. So they just flat out just will not fit in there. So I don't know if it's just a case of my copy of Sludge or not. I don't know, but he's supposed to get those guns. They don't necessarily work, but you do have an alternate option for arming him up, and that involves the combined mode feet. So the feet do come apart. You just take these side panels here and you just flip them out like so. And then you take the toes here, and they just unpeg from the front right there. And you can unpeg this whole bit right here. Just pegs in right up there. And the claws, these you don't do anything with. These just go off to the side. But you can see this little weapon assembly here, which is done in silver and nicely detailed. And this actually does come apart to become 3 separate handheld weapons for the robot mode. So you get one gun right here, you get this little gun right there, and you also get this gun. Unfortunately, one side of the gun is always hollow. It's just the way it works. But you still get 3 separate guns that they can hold in robot mode, which is quite cool. But what you can do here is you can take these, get these plugged back in. I'm doing this right. No, like that. No, wait. Oh, that goes there. Okay. Always confuses me a little bit. There you go. Now we get this back together. Now this we can actually plug on to Sludge, and that works out beautifully. So we can do that with both feet and just arm him up with those if the handguns don't work for you. So you do have some options here as far as arming up your dinos. And as always, options are good. That looks pretty cool, actually. So you got that going on. So now with these bits, what you want to do is you just want to take them. They're on sliders. These side panels here are on sliders, so you just want to slide them down like so, and that will allow them to close up like that. And they just want you to take one of them and just plug them on top of slag here. Oops. This does fit. It's just snug. There you go. And you can plug that on top of Snarl if you wish. Another thing you can do if you want to is you can use them both and just plug them into the hips. Just kind of angle them out using the ankle tilt. And you can just have him armed up like that, you know. So, hey, you got the options there. He's a bit on the snug side, but there you go. So you can have that going on if you want. Hey, it's a thing you can do if you want to do it. But there you go. You can have your Dinobots armed up like so. So yeah, all things you can do. Now on to robot mode. Alright, so we got them Dino Boys in robot mode, and now we can show off what some of this can do for the robot modes. Now, as far as Lord Swoopington goes, you can give him the rocket launchers there as handheld weapons, and he does hold them nice and secure-like, and of course that's the sword that came with the figure originally, so he's pretty much all ready to go. As far as Slag goes, we can now give him his sword. So now he is properly armed up with his gun and his sword. And of course, this is the gun that originally came with the figure. So now he is ready as far as armament. You can also give him the butt plate. The butt plate does have a post right there. And you can give it to him as a shield. So now he has a butt plate shield. If you want that to be a thing, hey, it's a thing you can do if you want to do it. So he's got a sword and his butt plate shield. Now for Snarl, he does already come with his sword, which unfortunately doesn't match anybody else's or any other swords in the set, but oh well. But you can give him his gun, which again he holds nice and secure, like so you can pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang. Or if you want to give him a shield, you can give him the hip pieces here as a shield, and you just take this section here and swing it out. Unfortunately, he can't hold everything at the same time, but we can pop this out and you just peg this into his hand like so, and Snarl can have a shield if you wanted to. So you can have him with his sword and his gun, or you can have him with a sword and a shield, or the gun and a shield. As always, options are good. So you can have that going on. As far as Sludge, of course, this is the gun that came with the figure originally, but now we can give him his sword. So now we have completed the look for Sludge, which is always nice. So you got that going on. And last but not least, we have Grimlock, and the one thing people complained about the most about this figure was that he did not come with his sword or his gun. Well, guess what? Now he has his sword and his gun, so now you can properly arm him up with his sword, arm him up with his blaster, and there you go. Now he's all proper Grimlock-like slash 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 shoot shoot bang bang shoot shoot bang bang. And you can also give him all of this as a shield as well. There is a post back here that you can flip out, and it's a bit too loose for my liking. It just kind of wobbles around. I wish that was a bit more stable, but you can take this and plug it onto his forearm, which takes a little bit of doing because the peg wants to move around on you, but there you go. You just peg that on like so, and you can have that big shield on his arm if that's something you want to do. So, it's a thing you can do if you want to do it. And of course you can give them the literal handguns as handguns. You can totally do that if you want to. And you can give them any of these guns here as handheld weapons as well. They do hold them nice and secure like. So you do have a lot of options for how you want to arm these guys up. And you can also plug these onto their arms as well as shields. There's even a little spot there for an Autobot sticker. So you can plug these onto their arms if you wish for extra shield, although again the peg is kind of tight, but you can plug those on there if you want to for more shielding action. So that is it for that. Now on to Combine Mode. So before we get down to plugging all of this stuff on, I just wanted to get a before shot just so you could all see what we have to work with here, and you can see the transformation into what it will become. It's magic time! Woo! So first we're going to focus on the main body here, because this gets the majority of the upgrades. So we're going to be using this right here, this, and these bits right here. We are going to use this as well, but we're not going to use this until later. So first thing you want to do is you want to take the crotch piece here and just untab it from this section. It does tab in quite securely. Let's pull that out like so. And then the chest section just untabs from the back section here. You just see these two big tabs just tab in right there. And what you do is you take these bits right here. These will slide up like so, and then you swing it down and push it back down like that. So just bring this up, bring it down, slide it back. I do have some stress marks on mine, as you can see. I did not do that. That came out of the box like that, which is just, I don't know, but everything seems to be staying together just fine so far, so I'll work with it. And this peg you do want facing upward like that. So you want everything oriented as such. And now we can continue on. So now we will take Grimlock here and we'll just untab this section, because this is the easiest way to do this part. You take the new chest piece here and it just plugs right on like so. You just push that right onto the main body. I believe we got it all the way on. I think so. Like that. I think we got it. I think we do. And then you can drop all of this down, and you have these sections right here that will just clip behind these sections right here. So just drop it all down, and everything should clip in all nice and secure like. Takes a little bit of doing, but it will go. There we go. One side and the other side. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. That just all drops down like that, and everything clips on as it should. And there you go. So now that is held on nice and securely. So we got that done. So now we're going to work on the arms here. So you just want to bring these up, and you want to take the arms and just bring them up like so. You do want to untab these sections, just kind of bring all this up like that, and just kind of make him look like he's flexing there. Me Grimlock swole! I don't know, but anyway. So just bring all that up like that, and now we're going to add the back piece, and these two tabs right here are just going to go into these two slots right here on either side. So again, make sure that this peg is flipped up. I wish that wasn't so loose, but anyway. I have my little nitpicks with the set, but for the most part, it works pretty well. So you just tab that in, and as you can see, these pegs will go into these ports right here and secure all of that in place. Like so. So just push all that on, push those side sections on, and there you go. He's got his new back. Grimmy got back. So there you go. So now we take these bits right here, and these are going to, you can see the slot right there is going to go on this tab right here, and this is just going to fill in these bits right here and just make it look a little bit neater. So you just don't have all this exposed space here with the robot mode fist and all that just hanging out. So it just neatens things up. And those tab on nice and easily. And there you go. So you got that all done. So now, what we have here is the butt plates. So with the butt plate, you're just going to open these side sections up, take this section and bring it down. Bring this up, and you're just going to bring the legs straight down. You also want to rotate these sections so the tail piece is facing forward. And this is the one part that is a bit of a pain in the butt to do. So what's going to end up happening is that these tabs are going to go into these slots right here. So you kind of just want to bring this in and just spread these out. And these don't spread, these don't come out as far as they should, like they stop right there, so you are kind of flexing them a bit, which I am not a fan of, and it just kind of, it does fight you a bit. It's doable, but it's a little scary as well. But just get everything going, and then just kind of get these tabs, get these sections over the slots. I mean, over the tabs, rather. Like I said, it's a little scary because you are just kind of flexing things, and I'm not a fan of that. They should have just made these panels flare out a little more. But it's doable. It's just a little scary. There we go. There we go. We got the one side on, and there we go. And I got the other side on. There you go. That's a little scary to do. That could have been easily avoided by having these panels just be able to come out further than they do. But oh well. It is what it is. And then you just take this peg and it just plugs in right there. And there you go. He's got a new butt. Look at that butt. Look at it. Look at it. There you go. He's got a new butt plates. And then you just take the new crotch piece. You just flip this little tab down like so. And that just tabs on to the existing crotch plates. And there you have that all done. So that is the majority of what you are doing with all of that. So now we can bring in our limbots here. We'll bring in our arms, and we can now connect the new hands. And you just want to kind of get everything kind of stabilized there because you're pushing on things that are on hinges, so they kind of want to move on you. But there you go. Just plug that in. That does hold in nice and secure like. So there we have Swoop with the new hands. And now we will bring in Sludge here and just plug that on like so. That was a bit easier. There we go. So there we got Sludge with the new hands. And now we will bring in our legs. So we got Slag here. And we just plug on the new foot like so. Now he's got a big old foot going on. And we bring in Snarl. And just plug that on like so. And there you go. You got the big old feet. So first we're going to plug on the legs because I want to talk about a kind of a problem that presents itself when you have the legs in the configuration that the instructions want you to have them in. So if you have everything configured the standard way as far as the leg itself goes, and you have the hip configured the way the instructions tell you to have it configured, as you can see here, when you go to plug it on, it plugs in sideways now, and you can see the dinosaur head gets in the way of the tail. There's not enough real estate there. Now, as far as slide goes, you can't work around that because you can just bring the head all the way back, and now the head can slide on, and that's pretty much the only way to do that. So it does pose a little bit of a problem. As far as Snarl goes, again, you know, the tail gets in, his tail gets in the way of Grimlock's tail, but you can't work around that by just opening the tail up. And now they're not really competing for real estate. So in the case of Slag and Snarl, you can work around this. Now, as far as Sludge and Swoop go, if you wanted to use them as legs, they pose more of a problem because their dino heads don't move out of the way any more than this, and you kind of have to bend the leg, and you can see there's not enough real estate here. And if you look at promotional pictures of the kits, when they have Slug as a leg, they kind of have him bent out with this leg bent in, and that's pretty much the only way you can get things to sit straight. So, and it works the same way with Swoop. So it depends on who you're using as legs. It does present a bit of a problem, so really your best bet is using Slag and Snarl as the legs. But there is something you can do about that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But now that we have the legs clipped on, we can bring in these pieces right here, and these just split down the middle. You just take this panel, bring this out, and you take this section and bring this out. And what's going to happen here is this is going to wrap around the thigh, and then this port will go over the Titan Master Peg here, or the Prime Master Peg, and that will just secure right there, and that will, you can see, it just bulks the hips out a bit, which is quite nice. So you do this on either side, just wrap that around, clip that over the peg, and there you go, and that bulks out his hips pretty nicely, which I do quite dig. So there you have that. So now we move on to the upper body, and we connect the arms, and they just connect the exact same way. Just plug them on, plug on Swoop, and whoops. This kit doesn't make him more stable, though, I will say that. He does still weeble wobble a bit, but there we go. There we have the new Volcanicus all combined. And it is an improvement. It is a definite improvement. He looks way, way better. Like, I really dig the way this looks now. Like, it looks really, really cool. So this kit, as far as the combined mode goes, does a really, really good job. The stuff that it does for robot mode and for the dino modes, like, you can take it or leave it. Me personally, I don't care anyway. I bought this for combined mode. So as far as I'm concerned, it does the job it needs to do for combined mode, and I think it does it very well. Now, as far as articulation for the combined mode, you do get some extra articulation here and there. Of course, the head still just rotates as it did before. The arms still rotate, still go in and out. You still have your bicep, your double jointed elbow. But your new articulation does come in the hands. The hands do rotate. They are a bit snug, but they do rotate. And they do have a hinge that allows them to move up and down. The thumb is on a ball joint at the base, as well as a hinge here and a hinge here. And each finger is on a hinge at the base that does move up and down, as well as hinges that allow the fingers to be splayed out a bit. And you also have a hinge here and a hinge here, so you get some good posability. They actually will swing both ways, which is a little creepy, but hey, that works for Volcanicus. So you can actually get a good looking fist there. Of course, you do still have your waist rotation. That has not been hindered. The legs now move on this hinge right here, and they can move forward that far, back that far. Outward movement, you don't have outward movement anymore just due to how these work. You do kind of have to just kind of swing this around to bring the leg out if you want that to work that way. And of course, you do have the knee joint, which still bends 90 degrees. You do have the rotation at the knee, as it has always been there. And one of the feet just fell off. How dare you? You stay on. And the feet, you do have now upward and downward movement, as well as ankle tiltage there. So, now of course, you can give him his sword. You can give him either version of the sword. You can give him both swords. Hey, totally up to you. Do what you want. As always, your toy. Display it however you wish. You can store it on his back. There is a port right back here and posts on either side. So if you want, you can just store this right on his back if you wish. But of course, he is a warrior, and he should be holding his weapon. And now, how this works is there is a groove here in the palm of his hand. And how I originally thought this worked was I thought you just took the handle and just plugged it into that groove. And you can see that's as far as it goes in. And I was just like, oh, that looks not good. That looks stupid. No, that doesn't work at all. But that's not the way this works. What you're using is these sections here that stick out of the sides, and that is what ends up going into the notch here in the hand. So you just take this and you plug that in there like so, and that's what he holds on to. And you can see that looks a lot better and a lot more natural. So that's how that works. The unfortunate thing, though, is that the hinge in the wrist is not tight enough to actually support the weight of it, so the wrist will kind of droop down a bit, and the joints in Swoop himself are not that strong either, so everything is going to kind of droop a bit. The elbow joints are kind of strong enough to hold it up, kind of, sort of. His hip joints aren't that strong, but the knee joint is strong enough to actually keep the sword up, so at least you can get some kind of posing with the sword if you want. So posing him with the sword can be a bit of a challenge. Some of that is the fault of the kit itself, and some of that is the fault of the figure itself. As far as Grimlock's dino head goes, you know, you can still have that just positioned how you want. You can just bring it all the way down, have it sitting flush against the chest, or bring it up if you want to have the mouth open and have the Enigma in there. Totally up to you what you want to do there. You have the option. As always, options are good. As always, your toy. Display it however you wish. So now let's talk about them hips for a little bit. Now, you can work around the problem that presents itself when you have the hips in this configuration. And it's simply just a case of just taking the hips and just turning them in and rotating the legs back out. And now you can have everything situated the way they're supposed to be and not... Get out of here. Now you can have everything situated the way it's supposed to be, and now nothing's being hindered. And I actually do like the way that looks a bit better, because I kind of like all this new detail facing forward. I think that looks quite cool. So as always, that's just a case of, you know, how you want to do things. Of course, now you totally lose the forward and backward movement there on the legs. You do have a little bit of outward now, so you're hindering your articulation there by displaying him like that. But if, you know, if you're just going to have him standing on the shelf, I mean, hey, that looks just as good. But again, as always, your toy, display it however you wish. So there you have the Transform Dreamwave kit for Volcanicus. I didn't do any size comparisons. I know somebody's going to complain, why didn't you do any size comparisons? Because there's not a drastic change in height. The new feet are literally like that much taller than the old feet. So there's no drastic change in height here. So it's pretty simple math as far as how he compares with other combiners. Pretty much the same Volcanicus compared without the new feet. So since it's a very mild change in height, like very mild change in height, there's, you know, it wasn't really worth wasting the time on comparisons. But anyway, the kit itself is really cool. I mean, it does do a great job at making this combiner just look awesome now. If you remember what we started off with and what we're looking at right now, I mean, it is total night and day. I mean, it just looks awesome now. It's definitely not perfect. It does have some issues here and there. Some of the weapons don't plug onto the Dino modes like they're supposed to. As far as combined mode goes, you know, as I said earlier, you know, like the wrist joint here is a little bit on the loose side, so getting him posed with the sword can be a bit of a challenge. Again, some of that is fault of the kit, some of that is fault of the figure itself. Depending on how you have the hips configured, it can pose a bit of a problem, but you can totally work around it. Getting the butt plate installed in combined mode can be a little scary because you're kind of having to flex things to get them around those tabs, which is something that could have been easily fixed by just allowing them to swing out a little further. But, you know, it is what it is. So that's the only part of this kit that's not fun and a little scary. But all in all, the purpose of this kit was to improve upon the combined mode, and I think it does that, and it does it really well. As I said, the combined mode now looks freaking awesome. I love the way this looks now. So again, it's not a perfect kit in terms of some of its functionality, but for its intended purpose, which is to upgrade the combined mode, I think it does it, and it does it very well, in my opinion. So there you go. Now, if you would like this or any of Transform Dreamwave's other offerings, you can always check out BigBadToyStore.com for availability. There will be a link in the description down below, so you can check that out. You can also check out my third-party Transformers playlist for any reviews you may have missed, also linked in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it. So don't forget to check out EmGames, check out Lori Plan, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Transformer Dreamwave upgrade kit for Power of the Primes Volcanicus. And this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, home in your face. Oh, finally our Dinobot combiner is at optimum levels. Now there are some Decepticons we need you to take care of, and hopefully you can handle it. You can handle it. You can handle it. Oh, man, I'm gonna get some popcorn and enjoy the show.